All right, so I don't know who Tobuscus is. He looks like kind of a failed indie rocker, but people are saying that I should know who he is and that I'm a bad person for not knowing. Let's watch it. Let's just take a look. Somebody even said that that this is the reason that they don't buy merch from people. That's crazy. The Tobuscus. I don't know who this guy is, but you know, InternetAjay is my favorite source of information. People get so upset. He doesn't go in depth enough. Probably not, but you know, I don't know if I could sit through an hour-long video about this fucking nerd. So,
person I dated a few years ago has just made some extremely serious, false accusations about me, and I want to be crystal clear.
Why doesn't he turn the video up in his thing?
I've never done anything without her consent.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Your Indian Uber driver here. You know, the one whose car you threw up in last weekend and...
Maybe my Indian doctor. I have an Indian doctor now. I just went on a doctor's appointment, and he's Indian. I don't know. That's all I wanted to say.
Didn't tip. Thanks for the 1-star review, by the way. Anyways, today I'm going to be talking about Tobuscus, and we'll have the lovely Wendigoon do the intro. Take it away, Wendigoon.
Hello, everybody, and thank you, Ajay, for having me on today. Not
I don't know why you switched to this guy. I don't like white people.
just to be featured on your channel, which I greatly appreciate, but also to introduce a creator who was very influential to me growing up. Tobuscus is a YouTuber with about 6 million subscribers on his main channel. His videos were eclectic to say the least, having everything from songs to vlogs, let's plays.
Because eclectic just means that there's a lot of shit going on.
Comedic skits, and everything in between. However, his career was derailed when one of his ex-girlfriends claimed he was a and had her, while another ex accused him of forcing drugs on her. And then not long after that, another ex by the name of Jacqueline Glenn had accused Tobuscus of both and her. Due to this,
Christ, what the fuck? Oh my god. It's always the indie rockers, guys, that do these horrible fucking things.
Tobuscus' reputation took a major hit, and because of that, his popularity declined dramatically. Despite what was at one point a massive success, at this current moment, the last upload
This guy looks like an indie rocker. That's all I'm saying, brother.
to Tobuscus' main channel was over a year ago. And it seems that Tobuscus...
Yeah, I don't know what the fucking word eclectic means. What am I supposed to do? Pretend I know what it means? I'm not some fucking pseudo-intellectual. I can't even spell it. E-K-L-E-C-T-I-C definition. I don't know. I got it close. Let's see.
Eclectic.
Deriving ideas, style, or taste from a broad and diverse range of sources. See, I was right. Like, you like a bunch of shit. Same fucking thing.
himself has faded out of the public eye. This is the rise and fall of Tobuscus. Also, be sure to subscribe to InternetAjay if you haven't already. It was very kind of him to have me on, and I really
I'm unsubscribing from him just because you're asking me to. I
appreciate it.
I don't like white people, bro.
So give him a big thank you from me.
Thanks, Wendigoon. Guys, please check out his awesome iceberg videos. His channel has grown rapidly and he's a great dude. Before I get into the video, I just want to thank today's sponsor, Raycon. Raycon sent me a pair of Bluetooth earbuds on top of your ears that have been incredibly amazing to use. I just want to thank the new everyday
That guy looks intense.
earbuds. This makes them guaranteed purchase. Every purchase helps support created his main channel. Tobuscus, my link below so they know I sent you. Now back to the video. Tobuscus' real name is Toby Turner and he created his main channel, Tobuscus, on June 14, 2006.
Wow.
His first video was a short comedy sketch titled What I Do with the Remote from Click.
You don't even know how to play. You don't know how to play. You don't even know what 2 cards you have. Look at them. Look at them, see. Tell me what they are. Alright, fine. You didn't follow up with that. Figured you might.
The video demonstrated
What does the remote from Click do? Can't you like pause time and stuff? Right? What is it, young boys? What? Danny Dunkin' Donut. Thank you. You know what's so interesting? You guys remember when you were younger? Because I feel like, you know what? What I would do with the remote click nowadays, I'd fucking sleep. Thank you so much. Fucking young boy better. I would sleep. I would sleep longer. Maybe use it to masturbate. I don't know. Because like sometimes I like to edge. Anyway, that doesn't matter. That's not what this is about. When I was younger though, you guys remember having like especially young boys when I was in like fucking like middle school and shit. You have those like dreams where like I wish I could freeze time and pull the girl's panties down. Like that's so. You know, I wouldn't do that now though. That would be very inappropriate. But like when I was like fucking 12, I probably would be looking at boobies and butts. So that's all I'm saying, bro. I want to play.
Toby's willingness to do what YouTube's motto recommended at the time, broadcast yourself. Although he posted a low-budget skit that was pretty awkward, it was still funny and captured his goofy personality. And you have to remember, June 2006 was before YouTube was monetized. Toby was making videos because he genuinely wanted to. So he continued uploading fun skits he was passionate about and developed a
That sounds kind of gay.
unique comedic style that centered around acting silly.
Just kidding. I know that the perpetuating a harmful narrative. Sorry, guys. That sounds very suspicious.
I learned this in San Francisco when I was trying to apply for jobs. I found it helps you get hired more often if you evaluate beforehand the sexual orientation of your employer. And then you do this. Straight. Okay. Straight. Can you tell? Can you tell? Okay. Even without the voice. That's the bonus. Straight. What's up, guys? I love football. What's up, guys? I love guys. Fucking stupid.
Over the years,
You know what I will say, though, is that gay guys like me a lot. Gay guys are very attracted to me, and old women. So I don't even need to act gay, because I just fucking... I am gay. I don't give a fuck. Look at this. I'm like a bear. That's what they call them. They don't want you to sound like feminine. When gay, when gay guys that like bears are like, oh, I like that masculine guy, And I think they like armpits too. Not like the smelling of it, but like that picture where you're like this. They like that too. But shirtless.
he gained a loyal audience who loved
Check it out on my OnlyFans.
both him and his content. However, Toby exploded in popularity when he posted a video called Literal Assassin's Creed Brotherhood Trailer in September 2010. It featured a hilarious 2-minute and 55-second musical narration of the popular video game.
Take a second to look awesome. Time to go walk in slow motion so you still look awesome. God just saw you and he's gonna shoot you. Oh, don't mind him, just keep looking awesome. That shadow will take care of him. White God said stop, just kill him with your awesome.
Thank you for the sub.
All the rest, hopefully those gods have good armor. No, they don't, maybe they do. They don't. Now act like you didn't do it. They're not buying it.
The video was extremely well received.
I mean, it was well produced, but who the fuck watches that? That was cringy as hell. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but that was cringe. Who the fuck would watch that? You shut the fuck up.
Received and has a massive 51 million views as of the making of this video. Viewers thoroughly enjoyed the combination of Toby singing and the chuckle-inducing lyrics.
Yeah,
Toby was
very
like epic
views.
rap battles of history, but more melodic and focused on gaming. Hitting the iron
I
while
also
it
don't watch epic rap battles. That's also very cringe.
was hot, he uploaded more literal trailers such as Skyrim and Dead Space 2, which amassed millions of views. Interestingly, instead of just making music videos, he used the increase in traffic and attention he was getting to drive people to watch his other content.
Why does he always look like he's crying?
Interestingly, instead of just making
He just always look like he's crying. What the fuck's wrong with this guy?
content, he never
He reminds me of that Christian TikToker who makes videos and it's always like, guys, God, I love God. That's easy.
stuck with one thing and made vlogs, comedy skits, and reviews. In September 2011, Turner posted his next smash musical hit called Nugget and a Biscuit, which currently has about 40 million views.
He did this song? Why what? Oh, I know that song. It's incredibly cringe. I don't care.
It was extremely catchy and is widely considered a certified hood classic. Notably, the motivation behind the song was simply wanting to talk about putting a nugget in a biscuit and dipping it in mashed potatoes.
Nugget and a Biscuit was my... What's the word that means the
He
best
looks
thing
like
I've ever
he's
done
crying.
up to this point in your career? Magnum opus. It was like my magnum opus, and I couldn't wait to unleash this song upon the world, because I think the world needed a song about putting nuggets in biscuits and just dipping that whole thing in mashed potatoes. The barbecue sauce, that was just kind of freestyled into there, but I don't think it detracted from the points I wanted to make, which was nugget, biscuit, sandwich, dip it in mashed potatoes.
You see, Turner was just a guy who had fun making songs about nothing. They weren't particularly
That was the least cringe video I've seen him make so far.
insightful, but got stuck in your head and burned in your memory. Due to the success of his music, his growth was unstoppable, and in June 2011, he reached 1 million subscribers. Not stopping there, he continued releasing songs and hit it even bigger with the single I Can Swing My Sword in April 2012. To
He's
date, it's the
crying
most watched video on his
every
channel with over 90
all
million
time.
views. Toby loved entertaining his audience by singing, dancing, and acting out in his videos. Demonstrating his versatility as a creator, he also made a gaming channel called Toby Games. On it, he uploaded mainly Minecraft and Happy Wheels Let's Plays. In addition, he started a vlog channel called Toby Turner to show his audiences
Papa, you're riding a very thin line. Why is it that I can have a very, I could talk about like a very complex topic like sexual assault, and people are like, wow, you did a really good job expressing your perspective. But the second I tell you I don't like this fucking guy, all of a sudden it's like, wow, you're riding a thin line. Like the other video, I said that I didn't really like The Mandalorian. I thought it was kind of cringe. I think that I had much higher expectations of an incredibly fucking expensive show. I was like, I wish it was better. I hold it to a higher standard. It's okay. It just wasn't great. And people are fucking, you guys are just like shitting yourselves. You guys are assaulting me. Like, this is the most controversial shit I've ever said. Is like, yeah, Mandalorian could have been better. And this guy looks like he's crying and it's kind of cringe. So, you know what? I don't even care because the dislike button doesn't exist anymore. So, fuck you.
everyday life. Interestingly, in the mid-2010s, Toby's content started to shift. Although his uploads still featured his ADHD-fueled humor, they were quickly becoming increasingly sexualized.
I like that. Now I like it. I like big boobies. And small boobies. And medium one. I like all boobies. Just let you know.
Considering his main demographic
and hentai boobies
was young children, it was quite odd he was putting adult themes on his channel.
True.
For example, when he was at Comic-Con, he only interviewed ladies with, let's just say, particular talents.
So
blowjob talents?
I was just dancing in front of a bunch of people. They were.
Why is there like a trend of people sexualizing the fuck out of their content? I don't understand.
He's right there.
Oh! Rack focus. Yeah? Did it work? Which one's the hotter one? Whoa, you're so nice.
The fuck?
In the middle of an interview. How did I in the middle of an interview? How did I in the middle of an interview? Cuddle me! Cuddle! Okay.
I don't know. I haven't really been playing on games a lot. Maybe I'll do VR games for the gaming channel.
Oh, nicely done. Your phone's gonna fall out. It's fine. I didn't look. It's fine. It's fine. Don't look. It's fine. It's fine. Good God. Dance. Dance. Dance.
This is very thirsty. This is very See, how are you gonna sit here and be like, Papa God, I hate he was like my childhood hero. This is so fucking cringe. Like not being able to talk to women, treating women like they matter is so fucking cringe, bro. No, but all jokes aside, like treating women like they're not, that they're different is fucking weird. It's just so fucking weird. Why don't I don't know. It's so weird when people talk to women like they're different than men. Like it's just fucking weird. Maybe it's just because I'm older and married or something. I don't know. But you guys are fucking cringe lords. Yeah, you were 10. I can forgive you, but like I think he's at least 11 in this video. So.
In addition, Toby kissed a random girl on the lips and then ran away.
We just made out.
Now, while it seemed like the girl enjoyed it, I still think
was it consensual?
It was problematic to show his young audience that you can just lock lips with someone without their consent.
True.
It sent the wrong message.
I can do it because I'm famous, but you guys should not do. Don't do that.
And could even be construed as flat out. Unfortunately, things took a turn for the worst in 2016 when one of his ex-girlfriends, April, accused him of drugging her. In a Tumblr post, she mentioned she felt compelled.
Whoa! Hold on a second.
We gotta read the Tumblr post. One of his ex-girlfriends, April, accused him of drugging her. In a Tumblr.
I know this is completely inappropriate, but Tumblr really went downhill once you couldn't post porn on it anymore. Just letting you go. Anyway, trigger warning. Abuse, rape, drugs, pretty much everything else terrible. Before I start, I want to say that this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I understand that I am setting myself up to be attacked in more ways than has already been done to me. People may accuse me of lying and may try any tactic to protect him because they don't know who he truly is. I will have to take the heat for being the first person to openly come out about this, though. I am not the only one who has experienced this abuse from him. There are so many of us. I know some, I'm friends with some, and I'm without a doubt sure there are some I don't know about, and it's my place to tell their stories. I can only tell mine. It's not my place to tell their stories. Throughout the 5 years of knowing him, I have been mentally and physically abused by Toby Turner. I first met Toby when I was working at E3 in 2011. I had flown there from Georgia, and he was doing a hosting gig. He added me on Facebook, and as I was returning home, eventually my number was texted almost daily and FaceTime with each other. Okay. He kept telling me I should move there and that he needed a female host for his new gaming show. That's fucking weird. So a month after E3, I had bought a new car and packed myself to LA. I didn't know at the time, but that would be one of the many broken promises. Dude, what? He just met this girl and was like, you should move closer to me? That's fucking weird. Okay.
Tumblr post, she mentioned she felt compelled to tell her story.
I was writing way too many details, and I realized that I have way too many things to tell that happened 5 years, so I'll cut out some of the small stuff. I was being cheated on since day one. He would fluctuate between telling me we weren't together to saying we were. Sounds like a fuckboy shit. Once I started finding the evidence of other women, he would fluctuate between admitting he was cheating, then to saying he told me that he didn't want anything serious. Well, that's some pretty typical fuckboy shit. Every time I would try to leave... Is there a fucking...
One of his ex-girlfriends, April, accused him of drugging her. In a Tumblr.
Let's see. I want to just see if I can find this. Okay. Tumblr's so fucking dumb. Is that like resource in here? Sorry, okay, here we go. I found it. Oh, I'm such a fucking super sleuth. All right. I'm old and I need to do this. All right. Okay, let's go back. Okay. far to find other women. Okay, he would just say that we were worried. Once he can, okay, we never. Okay. Once I started finding the other women, he would fluctuate between admitting he was cheating, then saying he told me he didn't want anything serious. Every time I would try to leave, he would tempt me with saying he was ready to come out about dating me now. Okay, that's pretty shitty. I just do. Oh, so fucking whatever. Okay. He would say that he was just worried about what the fans would say to me and all the hate I would get, but he never cared about that. He started dating Olga. We were still dating. He told me that they weren't real. It was just for show, for subs and views. Bro, the red flags are fucking insane so far. At the beginning, I actually believed that. Then my gut feeling was going off like crazy, and I realized I was just being weak. I stopped seeing him and started seeing someone else. Of course, I kept getting texts that he missed me, and that I was the one he wanted. Yeah, he seems like a really shitty fuckboy. Once I stopped seeing the other guy, he went right back to dating. Oh, they went back to dating. On and off, as I know, was coinciding with Olga and his breakups, or maybe the breakups were lives. Who really knows? I know this makes me look really dumb, but you have to understand how he makes women feel. It felt like a drug. I would try to date other people, and I was stuck in love with him, and no one ever compared. So listen, I understand this feeling because every woman that's ever dated me has fallen in love with me. But like so far, and like I'm sure they're gonna get some more shitty stuff, but so far, like that's not necessarily that's not abusive. That's really shitty though. That's really manipulative. But he's an asshole. But I notice now that I have been being manipulated and forced. I wouldn't say I was also being manipulated and forced. He thought it was a game to keep me going, and I would say no. He would grab me and try to tear my pants off, and I would say no and pull them back up. Yeah, that's shit. That's definitely shitty. So forcefully that they would tear. I still have my pants folded in the drawer that have ripped belt loops and holes in the crotch from him trying to tear his way in. I even headbutted him once because I was starting to see another guy and did not want to be physical with him, but I was so scared of losing him that I would just let him win and have his way with me. He would call me his girlfriend, and then I found out I told somebody I was dating him. He would accuse me of trying to ruin his career. Jesus, this is very interesting. So it seems like it's very all over the place. What it sounds like she's saying is that like what she's saying is that like he tried to force himself on her for sex, and she didn't want it sometimes, and she would have to like fight back. That's obviously sexual assault. The comment about how she would let him win and have his way with her. I'm trying to figure it out. It depends on the scenario. Like if the scenario is like, hey, I want to have sex with you, and she's like, oh, I didn't want to do that, and he's like, well, I do want to have sex with you, and she just gives in. That's not really, I mean, that's shitty, but it's not like sexual assault. But if he constantly is like, I want to fuck you, I want to fuck you, I want to fuck you, and she lets him fuck him, like that's really shitty. And this is like one of the questions though, is there's a lot of red flags. I would have generally advised, this isn't her fault for any of this happening, but she should have obviously stopped engaging with this guy. He's incredibly manipulative, though. You call me his girlfriend. Blah, blah, blah. 2013 was when the drugs started. I'm not going to get into too much detail with that, but this is what was when the abuse started getting really violent. By this time, I was conditioned to always make sure he was happy, and I had so many panic attacks, anxiety. When I was with him, I never wanted to upset him. We were writing most of his parodies and songs together, and then fighting when the high would start to fade. Everything was bipolar mess. There was an incident where we met up for dinner, his classic want to eat, and he was on drugs, of course. I told him not to park in the 30-minute parking spot. He was immune to all rules in his mind. I'm a god, so he left it. Our conversation at dinner started toxic. He said some girl was aborting his baby. Jesus Christ. I said years ago I had a miscarriage, but would have had it. This caused him to get angry that I would have kept the kid. He called me stupid, a F-slur, among other things. FYI, to say he still calls me the F-slur. He used the term all the time, and he calls me his names even when he's being nice. So I'm upset. I call my wife a bitch all the time, but it's not nearly the same. So I am upset that he's trying to stand... I am upset and trying to stand up for myself, but only making it worse. I'm sure I cried at some point. I was always crying. We leave the restaurant, and lo and behold, the Range Rover got towed. He was yelling at me. He was yelling and mad. We got an Uber and got back to his place. By the time, I'm absolutely terrified and just trying not to make him more upset. He started punching things in the kitchen. He kicks his stove, and I get out of the way. He punches the pantry door. There's a giant crack in it. He later covered with a Chinese New Year calendar and made jokes on the vlog saying, how did this get there? I'm crying. He's blaming me for stuff, and then I go and sit. Yeah, it sounds like he's gaslighting the shit out of her. Down on the beanbag chair in his living room. He starts screaming at me to get the fuck out of his house. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I'm bawling and crying. And asking... Hold on a second. The only reason I giggled is because, like, fuck, it's not, that's just fucked up. Like, you would spell bowling with a W, so, like, I read I'm bowling, and then I started thinking of them playing basketball, and it kind of fucked me up. I'm sorry, I know it's insensitive. Fuck. That really fucking threw me off. Jesus Christ. Okay. And crying and asking him why he's doing this to me, and he is screaming at the top of his lungs that he hates me to get the fuck out of his house and he'll call the cops. What spurred that? Like, what the fuck is happening? He grabs his phone saying he's calling the cops, and I'm just crying and crying. He screams at me and said, "Did you hear what I said, you stupid fucking dumb blonde?" He always told me that he hated blonde hair, and so I stand up and leave. I'm hysterical and get in the car, and I speed off to drive away, and he jumps out in front of my car. Jesus Christ, immediately saying, "I'm sorry." Dude, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Is he like fucking bipolar? I'm crying, and I stop the car, and he pulls me into the house. I'm nothing but hyperventilating, crying mess, and I'm having a panic attack and shaking when he starts taking off my pants and saying, "Shh, Jesus Christ." He sets me down at the end of the bed and starts having sex with me. The entire time I'm crying and mumbling from, yeah, this is definitely fucking insane. Dude, I don't even know how to classify this. Like, how, like, if this is true, this is fucking insane. This guy just sent her into like a fucking hysterical mess and left her like confused and emotionally vulnerable to the point where he's like, okay, now I'm gonna have sex with you. What the fuck? Okay, Jesus Christ. He's saying shush. After he's finished, he pulls my pants back on, and I turn to my side and keep crying. I honestly don't remember if he cuddled me after. Maybe he did once. That probably would make it worse for her. She probably would get fucking terrified. Holy shit. Once again, I was psychologically damaged and stuck around. I even dyed my hair brunette to please him. We spent Valentine's together. At this point, I knew I had to find a way to get over him. I just didn't know. He was turned on every time I cried. That's fucking insane. And he was always mean and insulting to me. So this was a pattern. Friends tried to intervene, and I actually lost a few because I kept going back to him, and they thought I was weak and an idiot. I was. I finally mustered the strength and told him we should just be friends. So before we get into more, because I don't know how it's going to go, like, this is a common thing where, like, people will engage with other people in very toxic, abusive relationships. You got to leave, man. You got to fucking leave if you can leave. You know what I mean? You got to just fucking leave. This is horrible. This part, like, I understand really loving somebody, but Jesus, this is fucking... Love is a hell of a drug, brother. February 26, 2013, I came over to help him with something. I'm not sure what... Okay, so it seems like they were able to disengage. So at least he wasn't, like, fucking forcing her to stay in the relationship, but he seems like a fucking nightmare. Okay, so now we're at 2013. So this sounds like... Okay, so this sounds like they broke up and then, like, a month later, I guess. I came over to help him with something. I'm not sure what. My friend Alyssa was having a party. I wanted to go, and he kept telling me not to leave. I told him I had to go. He was being flirty and cute. I was conditioned to enjoy... So, like, the conditioning thing, like, he seems really fucking horrible and, like, abusive, but the conditioning thing gets me. I've been conditioned to enjoy the tension and game, but I told him I was going. He asked if I would take a shot with him just before I left. I said yes. I know I should not have even said yes and taken a shot before driving. Oh, yeah, she shouldn't have, but I'm aware, but you have to understand that. Well, okay. At this time, drugs are running rampant in the house. Like, I mean, like, you shouldn't be doing that, but I'm not going to have, like, I'm not going to have a meltdown over that. Allison, I was exposed to drugs and alcohol, abuse, and that's what I just used to. I said okay and took a shot with him. Instantly, I know something was wrong. At first, I thought it was a shitty vodka. I even asked what vodka it was, since it was the worst taste I ever had. Then I saw his face, and I realized I knew that the bitter taste was. I asked him if he had slipped something into my drink. Insert a cute grin with Griffin voice denying it. I asked a bunch of times, and he denied it, but I already knew the answer. I also knew that people who die from MDMA/Molly have always been mixing it with alcohol. That both of those together are a deadly mix, that Toby is a drug addict, and that the amount of drugs he put in my drink are far more than I will ever be capable of handling. I started to cry and telling him he's going to kill me. Why would he try to hurt me? Jesus fucking Christ. That he is selfish and I am going to die because of him. This somehow gives him a moment of clarity, or maybe it was just a drug taking effect, but he admits to putting it in my drink. He tells me it was just a little bit, and it must have still been on the glass from when he used it. Then he admits to fully doing it. He starts crying as well and admitted he's a sex addict and a drug addict and needs to get help. I mean, Jesus Christ, bro. Maybe a shotgun will help. I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, I'm so fucked up at this point that I honestly don't remember what happened. Did we have sex? Did we only talk? I'm not sure. All I know is some point he passed out cuddling me on his beanbag chair, and I'm starting straight ahead, wide awake with anxiety. I literally feel like I'm being held hostage and kidnapped. Holy fuck. I don't know this, man. I want to escape, but I'm so fucked up that I can't leave. Once I feel like I can maneuver a car, the next afternoon I drive home. I really shouldn't have drove, but I needed to escape. I come home and my roommates are in the kitchen. They would be so mad if they knew I was still talking to Toby after the blatant rape. Yeah, Jesus fuck. Well, that's pretty shitty because it's not your fault. So I tell them that somebody at the bar drugged me. They tell me to go to the hospital and stay. And I say I just want to go lay down. She should have definitely went to the hospital. I go to my bed and start sobbing. I was fucked up on this drug for 3 days. I regret never going to the hospital. I regret never going to the cops for what he did. Yeah, that's pretty fucked, man. Like, it would have been good for her to do that and try to get, like, a rape kit. But, like, I understand why she didn't. I'm not saying she's, like, I get it. It's just, like, fucking Christ. I honestly thought about his career. I honestly thought about his career ruined, and I didn't want to hurt him because I love it. Yeah, that's another shitty thing. Is like, it seems like she's afraid to come forward on this guy, or at least originally, because it could hurt his career. How messed up is that? He just tried to kill me. I knew I was too weak to go to the hospital, but I made sure to text him what he did so I would have evidence, so I would at least have a text proof. To have text proof that he drugged me, so he couldn't turn around and deny it like he always did, like he denies ever dating me. What's messed up is the text he gave me before I texted the proof. What 'twas fun. Yeah, fun. I wish I could say I stopped talking to him after that. Jesus, girl, what are you doing? But we all know that's not true. He said he would change his ways, and I took him back again. On March 2nd, 2013, I go to the bathroom and see a black thong and condom in his trash can. He's in the other room gaming, so I walk in there and grab him by the arm, and he's shocked. But I take him to the bathroom where I put the items on the floor, and I push his face towards it. His response, what? Yeah, what? So? And I'm livid. I say, who the fuck is she? He tells me it doesn't matter. You'll never meet her. I really wanted to destroy and break everything in the house on the way out, but I just grab myself and go. Done except not, because I'm an idiot and I stay friends. The last time I ever had sex with him was Memorial Day of 2013. This isn't by choice, of course. This is a violent hate fuck after he thinks I'm flirting with Max Landis and his Toby barbecue. Then, of course, I find out he's hooking up with another girl from the same party who is also a friend. The list goes on. Dude, what the fuck? This is insane. This is definitely horrible. My thing is like because it doesn't invalidate all the drugging and the potential, like, well, the rape, drugging, the sexual assault, the potential, like, you know, drugging to be sexually assaulted. But like, she definitely should have went with her initial thought and just not stayed. You know what I mean? Like that. Jesus Christ. Mid to late 2013, dude, we're fucking still in the same year. He finally has a relationship with someone else. By this time, they are known as mains in my circle of friends that know the drill. So luckily, I can say I never slept with him after that, but things still messed up because he would always try to use me to masturbate, either do it in front of me or grab my hand to do it for him. It's disgusting. I'm embarrassed, but it's the truth, so whatever. I became just a friend, and I really thought things were looking up. We started doing songs together, even though I was helping him write them throughout the whole time, but now I was included, and he was actually letting people know we were friends. Yay, gag. I won't get into the lack of payment for anything I did, because that's a separate issue, but I knew I was being used. I was just so happy to be included. Yay, gag. He always strung me along and would wave the carrot of songs or gaming. Get me to come back. Oh, fuck, dude. This is insane. This might be like one of the worst people that I've ever talked about. This is fucked up. He tells me he will perform depressing song at playlist. I'm super happy because we wrote it together, and it was our Look How Magic We Are Together song. Once it gets close to playlist time, he starts getting wishy-washy like he always does. I asked him if we were going to play the song because he never gives me a straight answer, and he starts telling me he only has passes for Seth and Gabe, and he doesn't know. Jesus. What an asshole. Tells me he will only be doing stand-up. This is after I already have my flight and hotel. So now all of a sudden he doesn't have a pass for me, and then he says he said he would have. So I decided to go anyway. My amazing friend gets me into playlist, and I have a really good time, even though I know the drill of if Toby sees me, he will ignore me, and I have to lie to fans and play along that he's just so awesome. He asks what I'm doing, and I text him that I'm hanging out with other YouTubers, and he gets mad and jealous because I shortened their channel name and accuses me of acting too cool. I say they're my friends, and that's just what I call them. He then texts a mutual... Oh, he says like a short, like Dan instead of Daniel, I guess. He then texts a mutual friend and says something along the lines of, April's on her high horse, and I'm about to put her down. What the fuck? The day of his performance, I tell another mutual friend that I just know he's going to play our song. She assures me he wouldn't do that. I have Toby's energy, and we are super connected. I feel it. I know he is, and he does. I'm going to admit to the interns that I almost... What the fuck? Committed suicide. I was in the worst pain I've ever... Wait, what? Wait. She assures me that he wouldn't do it. I have Toby energy, and we are super connected. I feel it. I know he is, and he does. Why would she want to kill herself if he played it? I was in the worst pain I ever felt in my life, worse than cheating or lying, the physical mental abuse. I'm not sure why, but to deny me this very thing I created. But didn't he play the song? I'm a little confused with that. To perform my song when it was my dream to be up. Oh, because she wasn't able to be up there. Okay. That was worse than death. I was on the high balcony of my hotel, and the opportunity presented itself. Luckily, I didn't go through with it. I vowed not to talk to him. He didn't get to use me in this life. I spent all of 2014 getting constant texts from him, some spamming, blaming, and attacking me, saying that he wanted to say sorry. Towards August, I think I started to respond. I have only seen him a few times since then. I saw him a few months ago in January at a friend's birthday, and though he was nice to me in person, he started to flirt with my best friend, and then he was trying to text her to entice her to hang out with him. When I texted him to stop because we're best friends forever and she's going to show me, the attacking verbal abuse began again. He never changes. He's still abusing and damaging women. There are women with stories similar to mine. He's still playing his games with multiple girls at the same time. Still asking hot chicks to game with him as a pickup line. I keep hoping maybe he has changed, and I try not to give this gory details to the women he tricks and fucks over, but I see he hasn't. Two mains found out about each other the other day. Oh, okay. I see what mains is. Why did I tell such extreme detail of the worst part of my life about him? Because last night I was working and went to Toys R Us and saw a Tobuscus toy in the aisle. I started to cry, have a panic attack. I was supposed to be professional, but I couldn't help it. I want to run up cashier and tell her that they're selling a drug addict rapist to children. I don't really care about the drug addict part so much. The rapist part though is fucked. They are selling a sexual predator and don't even know it. But I know even if I did that, his toys would go out on the floor as soon as I left, because people don't know. Parents don't know how horrible and toxic he is, how he hurt and destroys the best part of you. All they know is the funny voices and the characters. His back of the package called him a hero. Jesus. I'm sorry, but a hero doesn't disrespect, abuse, rape, and drug women. He is not a hero. He is not a role model. He's a sick man. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, that is quite an accusation, and that is fucked up. Holy fuck, dude. This guy seems like an asshole. What the fuck?
Tumblr post, she mentioned she felt compelled to tell her story after seeing a Tobuscus.
Yeah, that's fucked up though. Like that she walked into a store and like was triggered by the doll of this guy. That was insane, dude.
Action figure at a Toys R Us. In the post, April claimed Toby cheated on her since the beginning of their relationship and wasn't honest about it. I was being cheated on since day one. He would fluctuate between telling me we weren't together to saying we were.
But this part is like normal fuckboy shit. I don't care about this. The other part was like the drugging and raping.
Started finding the evidence of other women. He would fluctuate between admitting he was cheating then to saying he told me he didn't want anything serious. Every time I would try to leave, he would tempt me with saying he was ready to come out about dating me now. He would say he was just worried about what the fans would say to me and all the hate I would get. But he never cared about that. She then revealed Toby insulted her and had sex with her while she was having a panic attack. He screams and asks me, "Did you hear what I said, you dumb blonde?" He would always tell me he hated blonde hair, and so I stand up to leave. I'm hysterical and get in my car, and I speed off to drive away, and he jumps out in front of my car, immediately saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, come here, come here." I'm crying and I stop the car.
Insane fucking part of the thing that I've ever seen.
He pulls me into the house. I'm nothing but a hyperventilating crying mess, and I'm having a panic attack and shaking when he starts taking off my pants and saying, "Shh." He sets me down on the end of the bed and starts having sex with me. The entire time I'm crying and mumbling for him to stop, but he keeps saying shh. After he's finished, he pulls my pants back on and I turn to my side and keep crying. To make matters worse, April called Toby a drug addict and accused him of raping her. That Toby is a drug addict and that the amount of drugs he put in my drink are far more than I will ever be capable of handling. I start crying and telling him he's going to kill me. Why would he try to hurt me? That he is selfish and that I'm going to die because of him. This somehow gives him a moment of clarity, or maybe it was just the drugs taking effect, but he admits to putting it in my drink. He tells me it was only just a bit and it must have still been on the glass from when he used it. Then he admits fully to doing it. He starts crying as well and admitting he is a sex addict and drug addict and needs to get help. I am so f***ed up at this point that I honestly don't remember what happened. April ended the post stating she almost committed because Turner performed a song they co-wrote. I'm going to admit to the internet that I almost committed. I was in the worst pain
I'm happy I read it myself, because I don't think this really does it justice. I understand why, but Jesus.
Ever felt in my life. Worse than the cheating, the lying, the physical and mental abuse. I'm not sure why, but to deny me the very thing I created, to perform my song when it was my dream to be up there, that was worse than death. I was on a high balcony of my hotel and the opportunity presented itself. Luckily, I didn't go through with it. Overall, April's post was extremely concerning and painted Toby in a terrible light. It was undeniable that the accusations against him were incredibly serious. Forced to respond, Turner uploaded a 1-minute video saying he never did anything without her consent and was hurt.
A person I dated a few years ago has just made some extremely serious, false accusations about me. And I want to be crystal clear. I have never done anything without her consent. I've never tried to trick her into anything. I read her Tumblr post and I was shocked, and I was hurt. These allegations are absolutely false. I just wanted to address it. That's all.
Just when things could—
Okay, is that the whole video?
person I dated a few years ago has just made some extremely
So
serious,
low.
false accusations about me. And I want to be crystal clear.
Is it?
These allegations are
Oh, yeah.
absolutely false. I just wanted to address it.
Okay, yeah, that is everything. It's gonna fucking blow your ears, guys. Hold on.
Couldn't seem to get any worse. Another ex of Turner's named Amelia Talent then came forward and said she believed April's story and that Toby forced her to do drugs. To complicate matters further, a third ex of his named Jacqueline Glenn gave her take on the situation. In a video called My Ex Was Accused of, Jacqueline stated that he cheated on her and was dishonest during their relationship.
He's not a person that's probably very good with monogamy, and that was our biggest fight.
Well, like, listen, like, from what it says is that the other girl says that he has a drug problem, and then this girl says that he has a problem with staying monogamous. He sounds like a shitty person. Obviously, those two things are not nearly the same as raping a girl. I'm just saying.
That was something that I wanted, and he wasn't honest with me about things. I caught him in lies. I didn't trust him anymore. My trust had been broken. And I got to a point where I decided that I could not be happy like that. I wanted to have a monogamous relationship, and that's it. And if you can't give that to me, then I'm sorry, I can't be with you. And then we broke up. And then we ended up getting back together like a week later. And he told me that he was going to change, and he realized that like being with me and the potential of, you know, having that relationship flourish like that was more important than sex with other people, even though that was pretty important to him. And we decided to work on it again. And that blew up in my face because I caught him texting inappropriate things to other people. And I couldn't trust it. I couldn't trust it. So I left him again. And during this period of him like trying to convince me that, you know, all I want is you. I'm never going to go anywhere else. And like, I promise, and I'll earn your trust back. Like, while he was saying all those things, he's like out with other people, like sleeping with other people and lying about it. One of these situations was where he went out of town. He was in Canada, and I went to his place to watch the dogs, and I found some questionable things that he denied, that later he admitted. And also, while he was in Canada, there was a girl there.
Jacqueline then
I
mentioned she helped Toby stop using drugs and alcohol, and that it was actually April who introduced him to Molly.
Because I helped him curb the drug problem. I helped that a lot. I tried to get rid of alcohol. I tried to get rid of drugs. I had a very good influence.
I'm just saying, like, I don't really care about the fucking, like, I really don't care about the cheating or the drugs. Like, it doesn't, like, we're talking about, like, the sexual assault would matter more than anything else.
On him. A lot of people, have come to me and told me, like, when you dated him, like, you helped a lot. Which is cool, like, and it made me feel good about myself that I was able to have that kind of effect. But one of the things that I heard, and one of the reasons why I didn't really like when he would hang out with April, was because I knew that she was one of the people that introduced him to Molly. She told him about 5-HTP and how that helped her because it made her depressed. Like, anyone that I talk to that knows the situation,
Is April the first girl
is
April the first girl that accused him of all this stuff?
Her being, sorry for the plane, that it's her being, pulled into things by him, but I have heard the opposite in some situations.
Jacqueline ended the video by saying although Turner wasn't a great boyfriend, she didn't think he was a criminal.
But I don't think of him as this criminal. Like, I just don't. Shitty treating.
I mean, like, if she heard that April introduced him to drugs, I mean, we're engaging in he said, she said, but I mean, who would have told her that? Probably would have been him. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't, like, for somebody who seems to be as manipulative as the original post claims, it's not like, it doesn't seem surprising that he would blame somebody else on his drug problem.
Shitty that don't deserve it? Yeah. In a place where you should probably really apologize to some people? Yeah. Criminal? I don't think so.
5 days after the video, a fourth ex-girlfriend of Toby's named Tara Babcock came forward with her story on April 11, 2016. Notably, it was quite different than the other three girls. Tara began the video by saying one of his accusers, Amelia Talent, told a very misleading story. She claimed Amelia was married but still slept with Toby, used drugs on her own accord, and personally told her she was in love with him.
But to preface this, if you did watch Amelia Talent's video, where she talked about Toby, I was actually the girl that she mentioned in the video who introduced them. And one thing to kind of prove that everything is based on perspective is that she left a lot out in that video. She completely victimized herself, which is fine. I mean, some shitty shit happened to her. But she didn't mention that when I introduced them, she was married. And she went ahead and slept with him the same day of her own accord, and took Molly the same day of her own accord. And the reason that I stopped talking to her, among many other things that—
Who are they referring to?
Toby, I
personally told her she was in love with him. Misleading story. She claimed Amelia girls. Tara began the video by saying one of his accusers, Amelia Talent, told a very misleading story.
Okay.
Introduced them, she was married. And she went ahead and slept with him the same day of her own accord, and took Molly the same day of her own accord. And the reason that I stopped talking to her, among many other things in our relationship, something along the lines of finally knows what love feels like.
Kara then stated Toby never her in any
Other things in our relationship beforehand as models and as gamers and as friends was because on the car ride home, she told me that she something along the lines of finally knows what love feels like.
Kara then stated Toby never her in any way and that you can't always believe what you hear.
And as far as being sexually abusive, I remember one time that I asked him to choke me and he felt really bad about it and only did it for like 2 seconds very lightly. I can't imagine him being more rough than I would want. And yeah, I like rough sex, but that's just not the relationship that I had with him. I had no problems with that. And as far as verbal abuse, I can't even imagine that really. He said nothing to me but that I'm perfect, I'm amazing, I'm gorgeous, I'm awesome. There was never any talking down to me or anything like that. Again,
well,
I'm not saying that these things didn't happen. I just feel like there's different contexts to different things and you can't.
The first thing I have a problem with is the fact that she's like, oh, I asked him to choke me and he felt uncomfortable. Okay. The rape that the original girl claimed wasn't a violent sexual, it wasn't like violent rape, that it was still non-consensual sex. It's like, oh, he doesn't like choking? Okay. That doesn't mean that that's how he assaulted her. It seems like he would, you know, have sex with her, not in a violent manner. It doesn't make it better. I'm just saying, like, it's just like, that claim is wholly irrelevant to what the fuck we're talking about. Because he doesn't like choking, he can't be a rapist. That's basically what she said. What a fucking like dumb thing to say. You know, it's just a stupid fucking thing. That's just a dumb thing to say. It's just a dumb thing to say.
Down to me or anything like that. Again, not saying that these things didn't happen. I just feel like there's different contexts to different things, and you can't just immediately paint someone as a villain, especially just because you heard some shit on the internet.
Well, I mean, the first girl isn't painting anything because that's what she's claiming happened to her. Now, it's possible she lied. I don't know. But, I mean, I don't know why she would. What would be her motivation to do so? I don't know.
Her video seemed to vindicate Turner. It didn't do much to ameliorate the situation. By then, the Tumblr post spread so far and wide that most people believed it and reported on it as fact. Now, I want to remind you guys, there wasn't a single shred of evidence to back up any of the accusations against him. It was just a he said, she said situation which doesn't hold up in a court of law. Unfortunately, though, Philip DeFranco picked up the story and talked about how Toby was on drugs at his wedding.
There have been accusations recently about Molly. There have been accusations in the past about cocaine use. Many in the community have 1 to 5.
Who gives a fuck about any of that? It's interesting what people care about. Like, oh, he might have been on Molly. Like, I don't care about that. I'm like interested in the sexual assault stuff because that's like a real. Listen, you're gonna do drugs. I mean, you shouldn't, but I don't really care. You know, you're doing you. But when you start hurting people, that's when it becomes a problem.
I have Toby Turner stories around that.
I think the issue with the sexual assault allegations is it's hard evidence to get it. Yes, that is true, but that issue goes both ways. You know, it's difficult because people could falsely accuse you, and it's difficult because you could try to speak your truth and people won't believe you. So.
To me personally, without going into too much detail, those last 2 instances were my wedding, and another was a Super Bowl party around 3 years ago where we had to make him leave because he did something indecent in front of one of my female employees.
Tobuscus later said on stream that DeFranco unfairly painted him in a bad light by revealing private information and then wouldn't let him on his show to clear his name.
So now we're at a point where, like, listen, Philip DeFranco is a pretty credible guy. Like, I don't watch his content, but everything I've seen from him, he's a very credible individual. So if he claims that he was high on drugs and then did something inappropriate with a woman, I'm assuming it was like along the lines of like sexual, and he didn't want to give him a platform to talk about it. Okay, who cares? He could talk about it on his own platform. Like, I mean, is the take here that we don't believe Philip DeFranco? I guess that he's lying.
I don't think so. I think his video, he talked about, I was at his wedding and I was like, you know, like drunk at his wedding. And then he used that in the video where, you know, all the stuff went down to paint me to be a bad person, to paint people to think that maybe I actually did do that stuff. So like,
I mean, maybe if you're getting fucking high at people's weddings, and then like being sexually provocative or a little too intense with women, like that you did that thing. I don't understand. Like, it's so weird to me when people are like, it's like, oh, I know I did this horrible thing, but like, to you, you're using that against me, bro? Like, what a fucking, like, okay. Okay. Yes. I don't know what to tell you. And your whole defense is like, oh, man, you're telling people private stuff? That's kind of fucked up. It's like, oh, okay.
I would say that wasn't, you know, I wouldn't have done that to him. I wouldn't have done that to somebody else. And
several months later,
I imagine Philip DeFranco would have gotten high and then sexually harassed, or I'm reaching, but been inappropriate with a woman at someone else's party. So he kind of admitted that he did those things there. Yeah, he kind of just like, yeah, I was high and then I was harassing a woman. Okay, what a defense. But he should have told anybody. It was private. You know what we call that when we don't tell somebody things that are in the realm of harassment of women? It's part of sexual assault culture. So
Later in November 2016, Turner was accused by Jacqueline Glenn of harassing her. Keemstar then made a drama alert video about it and called Turner crazy.
Jacqueline Glenn, on the other hand, uploaded a video and said this about Toby.
Now, I don't know the credibility of all these individuals, but why would he call her crazy instantly?
Roll it.
My ex, Toby, is not respecting my request to be left alone. And
the one thing I'll say is, like, does she have, like, evidence of that? Could she show us, like, text messages, you know, that just establish that he's going crazy?
It's something that got really bad a couple of months ago and is now getting bad again. It seems like every time he thinks I'm involved with someone, it gets worse. Like, one time he showed up at my place while I had a roommate and, like, got into the back and left a note on my car. I don't know how he got in because it was a gated thing. He would bring me flowers while I was there with someone else. It was very awkward.
I guess that you can't really show text message proof of that, huh?
You know, he won't stop sending me emails. And the reason why
then show his emails.
I have him blocked on text messages, on Twitter, on all social media, because he gets very angry with me for not wanting to see him. Even a couple of months ago, like a month ago I think it was, he posted a video on his channel called Too Late, where he laughed about the fact that he was sending me unwanted emails.
You know, you know.
So the first thing I would do if I was somebody like if the first thing I would do if I was somebody like in Keemstar's position, I'd be like, hey, listen, can I privately see the emails so I can confirm if you are or aren't harassing somebody? That's pretty much it.
Dudes, what are you doing next to a sidewalk dog food shipment? Are you parting it in or out? Am I taking you away from your job? I can't talk to you for a little bit. It'll say they don't go bad. Does it go bad? Intro dog news and red news white piece. Dude, yesterday's video, you probably haven't seen it yet because I posted it really late. So I'll just wait here for a little bit for you to go watch it. You should go watch it. This is way better than this video. So far, way better. So I'll sit here for a little bit. You know, just click link in the description and watch it. I'll just sit here for 3 minutes, something like that. Oh, you're back. Okay. Did you watch it?
Wait, I have to play this on regular speed.
No, you just sat and watched. You saw that it said 3 minutes later, and you didn't actually go watch it. So 3 minutes didn't even pass. It was like what, a couple seconds. Okay, whatever. Twin dirt shirt. So I had a pretty nice day today and yesterday. Thanks for asking. I saw Civilization 6 came out.
Is it just a mention in the video? Okay, so we don't have to watch the whole thing.
So I haven't been, contacting my ex or anything, which is good. I just send her stuff that makes me think of her, which doesn't count, but it's cool because she did respond. She was like, please stop sending me stuff. So it's a good sign.
Like,
I mean, okay, he might have been making a joke, but also usually you'll joke off of like personal stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like he's admitting that he's a little bit of a stalker. Sure. Yeah. And that she's like, please stop.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
And it's creeping her out. So I wouldn't even say a little bit of a stalker. I mean, that's his perspective. I get it.
Is a problem, and it's stressing me out. And now that I'm clearly in another relationship, he's not respecting that.
Oh my God, Toby Turner. I don't even know what to say, bro. Like, bro, that's bad. That's really bad. Toby, I think me and you need to have a talk. We need to have a talk. Sit down, Mr. Turner. Sit down. Look, Toby, I don't know what the medical name for this is, but you're fucking crazy. You're like insane.
Due to all the drama and accusations, Turner's channel took a massive hit.
Oh, he called him crazy. Okay, I thought he called the girl crazy. I thought he said that Keemstar
and called Turner crazy.
Turner, Toby Turner. That's his name?
Accused by Jacqueline Glenn of
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I thought this girl's name was Turner. Sorry, I'm fucking confused.
Turner's channel took a massive hit. He lost viewers who thought he was a criminal and also suffered mentally from the backlash. Toby stopped uploading as frequently, and the videos he did make clearly showed he was crumbling under the pressure. For example, in one video, he just rambled on about life.
It got me thinking about life and just about why are we here? What are we doing? It feels good to make content where I'm just trying to think my thoughts and record me doing that. I'm just trying to figure myself out. It's very interesting because I was just...
Well, it's weird because usually I would say that you should be consistent. If you're going to call somebody Toby, call them Toby, Tobuscus. But saying that, going back and forth between Toby, Tobuscus, and Turner, it throws me off. So
I had the thought the other day that there's a giant just ball exploding all the time in the sky. There's a big ball that's exploding in outer space, and it lights and warms us in a vacuum. A vacuum that's just vacuuming all the sides of a...
This guy's on his Jim Carrey arc here.
explosion sphere that just sucks everything, heart, everything.
In another video called My Life Is Over posted in March 2018, Toby made an awkward intro pretending to lose a movie deal because of the allegations.
Do I have a movie script? Yeah. I mean, there's a budget, right? Yes, I have a movie script, and if they give us a budget, give me a couple weeks, and I'll just tweak the script, and I mean, it's really great. I wish you could read it right now as is. It's really good, but I just don't want to spoil it. They need to see the script before they approve the budget. Ask them this. Say, excuse me, do you know who Tobuscus was? And then they'll start saying something, and just sighs, and then hang up. Hang up. They'll call back.
Although it was an attempt at humor to play off the situation, it just came off as sad and pitiful. In fact, it seemed like Toby was struggling and needed help. He was crushed, and it wasn't hard to see why. The few
Well, I also don't care. I mean, so listen, this is so weird.
viewers he had left slowly started to disappear. His audience, who originally subscribed for fun songs and skits, just wasn't interested in incoherent ramblings or watching him sympathy bait. As a result, Toby went from an average of several million views per—
I mean, like, if this guy did rape that girl, why do we care? If I don't care about his mental health, I don't give a shit. Like, who fucking cares? You know, I understand it's he said, she said, but like, what's the? I don't know. Like, I just don't give a shit about the guy. Fuck.
per video to barely breaking 100,000 views. He even tried to revive his channel by posting sequels to his old hits, but sadly they didn't gain much traction. Currently, Toby's last video— he even tried to—
the video has 3 million views. Fuck you mean it didn't gain much traction?
revive his channel by posting sequels to his old hits, but sadly they didn't gain much traction. Currently, Toby's last video on his main channel was posted on April 20th, 2020. However, he continues to post on his vlog channel, Toby Turner. Ultimately, the tale of Tobuscus is a sad one. He skyrocketed to the top of YouTube and amassed millions of subscribers across 3 different channels. However, his career was derailed due to allegations that to this day have not yet been proven. The only people—
it is difficult to prove allegations. I'm like I'm kind of uncomfortable with. Okay, I understand. Listen, I understand people. I mean, you can't just take an allegation and be like, oh, it's true. I understand that, but I don't know. Like, what's the reason to question the credibility? It just seems kind of. I don't know, man. Yeah. It seems a little dismissive to that individual's potential trauma to be like they haven't. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm just being too nitpicky, but it makes me very uncomfortable.
People who know the truth about what happened are Toby and his accusers. It's unfortunate Toby went from making millions of people smile and bringing joy into their—
one of the things that I don't know. Like his response is like, "Oh, it's not true," and kind of moved on. Did Toby go to court?
Lives to pretty much being ostracized from the YouTube community. I suppose Turner's situation is a story of warning that the tides of public sentiment can turn against you even without evidence. Maybe one day he will return to his main channel, but only time will tell.
Yeah, see,
Thanks so much for watching.
Even without evidence thing.
Lives to pretty much being ostracized from the YouTube community. I suppose Turner's situation is a story of warning that the tides of public sentiment can turn against you even without evidence. Maybe one day he will return to his main channel, but only time—
I just don't like the verbiage, man. Because obviously these things are very difficult to like prove in court and shit. I don't know, man. To me, it just seems too dismissive of like her claim. Like, especially, I don't know. This is just from my experience, and I could be wrong, and this is just my opinion. But his response to me was just like very dismissive instead of like actually responding about it directly. Oftentimes, when people don't, they refuse to like actually respond to something like that. Which is basically what it is. Like he didn't go into the specific instances. Like, why not talk about the specific instances? Read through her post and say like, hey, this is what's wrong with this, and this. Instead, it just sounds like a brush off and like a non-willingness to engage in the allegation. That's just me personally. Why I think that like he might. I'm not gonna say he did or didn't do it. I would say that I don't like this person. I wouldn't develop like a relationship or any interest with this guy. Yeah, I just don't like the energy. Like, there's a lot. It's just a lot of like this like subtle dismissive verbiage being used that makes me very uncomfortable. Incel energy, sure.
That's what Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed—
that's what you guys want to say.
With this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving me a like. Oh, and feel free to follow me on Twitter for random thoughts or on Instagram for thirst traps like this one at InternetAjay.
Great. So I've unfollowed Ajay as a joke in the beginning. And now I was like, oh, I'll just refollow at the end of the video. I'll probably refollow him again, but I can't do it now because like I'm actually kind of pissed off about the rape apologist shit.